that's sad.
That's an end.
Yeah, that's an end of a really, really important chapter. Odd was so special to us. Odd gave us a home. Odd gave us happiness. Odd gave us a possibility of discovering new place. Odd gave us a job, pretty much, because we eat from money that comes from the boat. So Odd is just a really, really special boat that I think, even though we are not gonna have the boat anymore, it's always gonna we're always gonna remember. I mean, that's Odd.
That's odd.
Yeah, yeah. It's just hard to. I don't even know what to say. That's the truth. I don't really want to say much, because if I say much, it's not gonna be enough. That's the reality.
Yeah.
We had probably the most special days of our life so far on this boat, but somehow the reason why we are here is because we decided to risk. When we bought this abandoned boat, my dad thought we were crazy. That's the reality.
My whole family
Yeah.
also.
When we bought this boat and we shot the first video, people would be like, this boat's not worth anything. And the reality is, we saw something on Odd, and we believe that Odd would be good. It's hard to say. Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes you need to trust your instinct, and somehow everything happened so fast when we didn't even believe we were gonna sell the boat. But a lot of opportunities show up because of what we've been doing for the last 6 years. And I always had the dream of building a boat from scratch. That's what we're gonna do.
So it's a sad end, but it's the beginning of a happy beginning.
Yeah. Somehow I thought that we were gonna shoot this video and we're not gonna tell you the full story yet, but it's hard to hold. And yeah, I don't want to tell in details right now, but we are actually moving to a different country to design a new boat that we are actually already designing, that we're going to start building the hull in 3 months from now. The boat's going to be just amazing. Not that Odd is not amazing, Odd is 100% amazing, but we always wanted to live in Europe for a while, so we are actually going to move to Europe for a while, and that's going to be awesome because we're going to be much closer to all the manufacturers for parts. And when we refit Odd, there was so many things we wanted to do, but it wasn't possible because of the Brazilian taxes and how far we were from manufacturers. And now that we are gonna be right by all the manufacturers, that means we can build a boat that's gonna be just unbelievably amazing. And I think, of course, everything has its risks. It might take a long time. Yes, it might take a long time. It's probably gonna take a long time. It's
Because the idea is that we are gonna hire the boatyard to build the hull, and we are gonna do the rest by ourselves.
yeah, pretty much. We don't want to build the hull because we want to keep the value of the boat as we need to have a resale value, because we're going to put literally every money we have and every money we don't have on this boat. So the price we sell Odd for is the price of buying just the hull. So that means we need to keep working to make enough money to build the whole boat, and that's going to be, of course, a lot of money. And I don't want to do that and then in the end have a boat that's not worth half of what we invest on it. So I think it's important to have a CE certification, and in order to do that, we are gonna hire a boatyard that's a really, really special boatyard that connects the whole story together. Yeah, we need to. So pretty much we are gonna we are designing already a boat with the boatyard that designed Odd back in the 80s. So the same boatyard that designed Odd in France is working with us to design our new boat, and we are now thinking on the design from the scratch, from everything we want, like changing anything we want to build our own design, and also to build a design that if one of you guys in the future want to also build one, you can build one. So that's gonna be really, really cool.
And our design.
And our design, yeah. The boatyard is a really special one. The boatyard exists for over 60 years, and that means there's a lot of history on this place. We've been on this place before. You guys, I'm not sure if we showed you the video of that or not, because it's just like the timeline of the videos are confusing sometimes. But a month and a half ago we went to France and we visited the boatyard, and we were like, we can see ourselves living on this little 10,000 people town for a couple years. I think it's a really, really special place. I think it's gonna be a really cool experience. We're gonna learn a lot.
So now you know actually the reason why we were learning French was not just to communicate in Martinique and Guadeloupe, was actually to move
Yeah.
to France. And Duca has Italian citizenship, so we are gonna be able to stay there for a while.
Yeah. And also one more thing that you guys probably don't know, or maybe some of you know, we've been trying to have kids for over 13 years now,
13 years.
and we never managed to have a kid. We try, and then we did in vitro.
I have endometriosis, so it's the cause of infertility. So we tried in 2019 while building the container house, we tried in vitro, and it didn't work.
Yeah, that was weird because no one knew that. We were building the house, we had videos every week, and it was just behind the scenes, but didn't work. We just didn't work.
So we are gonna try it again.
Yeah, and my sister that's a doctor says that in Spain or even in France, the technology is really good, the medicine is really good, and then the doctors are really good on these areas. So we were like, so that's like a big combination. We always dream on building a boat from scratch, not 100% from scratch, from the hull, but we're gonna build all the systems, all the furniture, the interior, everything. We also want to have a kid, so we can take this time, to try one more time, and then to build the boat and do it properly and take the time, and then we go sailing again. I mean, like, we now know so many people in the sailing community that we are not going to stop sailing for these years, for sure. We're going to be right next to the Med. We can visit friends. We can spend some time. We can visit Odd. Even the new owner of Odd said we can go to French Polynesia if we want to visit Odd. It's going to be awesome.
I think we are gonna wait for him to arrive in Bali. That would be great.
That would be awesome. Yeah, sorry for the long video and for being slowly talking. It's just, for me, it didn't seem real until today. We've been moving so fast that, I don't know. Yeah. It's just, when you're busy, you don't even think of the consequences. And to be honest, we did all this in like a instinct that we couldn't. It's just hard. It was literally a instinct of, let's do it. That's it. Let's do it. And then suddenly it's done. To be honest, we sold the boat 2.5 months ago, with the promise that we could use the boat until the end of the the end of the sailing season in the Caribbean. And that means we don't own our boat for the past 2 months already. But
maybe more.
Maybe,
February, actually.
yeah, it was February.
Almost 4 months.
I don't know. Yeah, but it's weird because we didn't own the boat, but we're still living on the boat. It doesn't feel real. But now to think that in 6 days we are gonna literally get an airplane and leave the Caribbean and not having our home to go back to, it's tough. But it's gonna be good.
That's life.
And we're gonna eat a lot of croissants in France. And also we always wanted to learn French, and that's true. We've been trying to learn French. Our first French class was in 2009. 2010.
Moved back.
Yeah, we've been trying to learn French since 2010. Of course, we didn't work that hard to do it, but now I think it's gonna be a really good excuse to move to France and actually learn for real this time. It would be really awesome to one day sail to French Polynesia knowing how to speak the language properly. And I think Duca should stop speaking because Duca is speaking way too long.
So next week we are gonna show a little bit more about the project of the boat, right?
Let's hope so. That's not a promise yet. Yeah, that's the other thing.
A little bit more because it's not finished.
Yeah, we do have a 3D model. Of course, I talk too much. Even the battery died on me. Guys, sorry for that. I just really didn't intend to talk for that long. I never intend. It just comes. It's just if it's the funny thing is people think I talk too much for YouTube, but if you meet me in person, you're gonna realize that that's real life. Because I actually also every single person we met this season in the Caribbean be like, yeah, actually Duca talks a lot.
it's our lives.
Yeah, but now I think it's time to go. As we said, we do have a 3D modeling, but what we're doing is we're changing a lot of things, so it's not a final design yet. As soon as we have more information, hopefully by next week, I'm not sure if we're gonna have by next week, but if we do, we're gonna let you know. Otherwise, I don't know, we'll see. Now, from now on, it's just gonna be a huge surprise for you guys and for us. I don't know, we're gonna literally I have no idea, and that's the truth. The truth is we do have a design, we're working on the design. Hopefully by September the design is gonna be ready to start building the hull, and from there it's just literally the unknown. But we love the unknown because I don't like to I just like challenge, and that's gonna be the probably hugest challenge of our lives. Yeah.
So let's go. I'm Roberta.
And I'm Duca.
And after 2 years bringing this sailboat that was neglected for over 22 years back to life, it's finally time to start exploring.
So don't forget to subscribe and to join us every Sunday for a new episode. So on my last 24 hours on Odd, I have one challenge, a little bit more than one. The first challenge is to install this DC to DC charger because I want to solve for real the problem of not being able to start the engine whenever we want, because the way we use the lithium batteries charged by the alternator, we mentioned that many times before, it doesn't work the way we want it. We have a battery isolator that we don't really like, so we're gonna substitute for this Orion Smart Isolated DC charger, and I think that's gonna solve the problem. For that we need to do new wires, new fuse. Sorry for the noise, someone's sandblasting outside of the boat, but you know, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Let's get to work. And also we need to do the installation of the last valve, and we also need to fix a drawer that is not closing because of the new exhaust system that we did. So Mads is coming to help us out, and we're gonna try to do that as quick as possible because we need to pack. We have like all our lives to pack in 3, maybe 4 suitcases.
Good morning.
So the reason why they are cut in the drawers because we installed the new exhaust system and we forgot the last drawer. So the drawer is touching this part, so that's why we need to cut the end part of it. What's the project going on here?
We're gonna take out the battery isolator and install the DC to DC charger instead, because I think it's gonna be a better solution. So now I'm disinstalling this to install the other one in place.
This is all because we have lithium batteries?
This is all because we like heavy lithium batteries, and by the way, before you arrive, I explained everything to the camera already.
Okay, Mads wants to use some epoxy
Yeah.
for the last time. Well, before we finish this project, I just want to welcome to our Patreon family Bill and Christoph. So now, let's go back to the episode.
So the idea is just to use the engine battery to charge the lithium batteries while the engine is running. So we want to charge just when the engine is running, so the voltage needs to be higher, and there is a cutoff, that's it.
Yeah.
So last step is just to connect this connector to close the circuit, and we're good to run the engine and test if it's working.
We didn't film, but we tried with the engine on and it's working perfectly. Yay.
We have less than 24 hours, so it's the last project ever on Odd. Now it's the tricky one, you know, the last one needs to be the tricky one. We do have a really tight place to work inside the cabin right there. So to make it easier, our friend Mads is gonna open up a hole with his Moto 2 here. So we are gonna create a inspection hole so we can work from here behind this. It will be fine. We decided that in order to make it easier, we're gonna try to find a plastic, inspection hatch. Got it. Now let's see if this works actually, it fits. He didn't believe I would have one.
So the plan is to have one of these here so we can access easily to give maintenance to the sink. Actually, Ricardo, because tomorrow we are not here anymore.
That's really sad actually. Don't make jokes about that. Don't play with my feelings. Don't play with my feelings. I don't like that.
That was a very upbeat way of saying goodbye.
New projects coming. Ah, so comfy.
It's very cozy. Why are you good?
I love to wake up in the morning, but keep dreaming without wording. The day is gone, and sometimes I take a walk, but I forget about the clock. I can slow down. My friends are sitting laughing, but I just keep on laughing. They're knocking on my door, but I'm knocking down. They say I'm acting crazy, but I just wanna lie in the sun. Whoa, I just wanna lie in the sun.
And now it's pretty and really useful and easy to work.
That's awesome. So this valve has 2 exits. That means we can have 2 sinks on one valve. That's pretty cool. And just like that, we close the chapter. We finish our work on Odd. I think Odd is ready for Ricardo.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's like 4 years working on this boat, and that was literally the last job. The tough one. We've been postponing this for a long time. It's ready.
Just taking the sun, huh?
Hope you enjoy.
Thank you very much.
It's awesome. Now we're gonna enjoy the last swim in the Caribbean because tomorrow we are out. Let's go to the water.
Now that the job at Odd's done, we came to visit friends that are floating. Okay, you ready? 3, 2, 1, go! We're back to the room. There is a scale waiting for us and a lot of bags to be packed.
Thanks so much, Dane, by the way. Dane, the owner of the marina, left the scale because if we have overweight, that's gonna cost a lot to fly with all our stuff, and we've been postponing to pack for the whole week pretty much.
And we still are gonna have dinner with friends, and then we are gonna pack maybe during the night.
That means the last dinner. I guess we did it.
Yay!
Yeah. So everything we have, or everything we have and we own, is here on this little space. We have this suitcase to check in, this one to check in, this one to check in, this one to check in, that big fat box to check in, 1 carry-on, 2 carry-ons, 1 personal item, another personal item, another personal item, another personal item, another personal item, and another personal item. Can we do it?
We might need to check in that ones as well, but that's life. That's what we have for now. That's all we have.
So we have half an hour because Dane is picking us up. But before we do that,
we need to say goodbye to Odd.
Yeah, I think we need to walk to the yard one more time and say goodbye to the boat that was our house for the past 2 years. I mean, 4 years, yeah. I mean, consider that we're living on the boatyard for a long time. 4 years and a lot of love. So I think we deserve the last kiss on Odd.
Yeah.
We do?
Yeah.
Let's go.